6:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is a news edited by Danushka Madhavella and read by J. Yogaraj. First, the headlines. The 12th National War Heroes Day will be commemorated today. The parliamentary debate on the Colombo Port City Draft Bill will commence today. Sri Lanka records highest daily coronavirus death count yesterday with 34 deaths. Toll exceeds 1,000. Sri Lanka will be receiving 185,000 doses of a Russian Sputnik V COVID jab next week. News overseas, Netanyahu says militants set back by years. In sports, Chelsea beat Leicester City to boost their Champions League hopes. And those are the headlines. The memory of patriotic war heroes of the Army, Navy, Air Force, Police and the Civil Security Department who sacrificed their lives for the country's sovereignty, territorial integrity and independence will be venerated with floral tributes in the afternoon today on the 12th National War Heroes Day at Battaramulla National War Heroes Monument. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, as Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, dignitaries and war veterans will participate. Relatives of all fallen heroes are expected to join the commemorative event. This year's 12th National War Heroes Day commemoration ceremony, organized by the Ranaviru Seva Authority adhering to strict health guidelines, begins at 4 p.m. with the arrival of the President. War heroes of the 23,962 Army, 1,160 Navy, 443 Air Force, together with 2,598 policemen and 456 Civil Security Department personnel, a total of 28,619 who had made the supreme sacrifice in the fight against LTTE terrorism before May 2009, are respectfully remembered by all peace-loving ethnicity in Sri Lanka for their gallantry, invaluable and selfless dedication during this national ceremony. 2-minute silence will be observed in honor of their memory. A reading of the citation for bravery, religious observances, playing of Ranabera, vigil mounting and the President's address, aerial drop of flowers on the monument are other features of the program. The parliamentary debate on the Colombo Port City Draft Bill will commence today. The debate will continue tomorrow as well. Speaker Mahinda Abeyewardene announced the decision of the Supreme Court on the Colombo Port City Commission Bill in Parliament yesterday. The Speaker Mahinda Abeyewardene told Parliament that the Supreme Court had determined that certain provisions of the Port City Economic Commission Bill is inconsistent with the Constitution and directed that those clauses required to be passed by a special majority and a referendum as they were unconstitutional. The decision of the Supreme Court was handed over to Speaker recently after considering 19 petitions filed against the proposed bill by a 5-judge bench of the Supreme Court headed by Chief Justice Jayantha Jayasuriya. This news comes to you from Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Now, EPF information and services through an SMS from HDFC Bank.
Sri Lanka reported its highest ever single-day death toll from COVID-19 yesterday, with 34 deaths raising the overall death toll to 1,015. The Director General of Health Services confirmed 34 deaths that occurred from May 11th to May 18th due to COVID-19 virus infection. The total number of deaths due to COVID-19 infection in Sri Lanka is 1,015 by now. Among the 34 deaths reported today or yesterday are 18 males and 16 females. In most cases, the cause of death is mentioned as COVID-19 pneumonia. According to Epidemiology Unit of the Health Ministry, 2,518 new COVID-19 cases were reported yesterday. Among the positive cases identified yesterday are 2,478 persons from the New Year COVID-19 cluster and 40 foreign arrivals. According to the Epidemiology Unit report, at 10 p.m. yesterday, a total of 147,720 COVID-19 cases have been reported and 25,860 infected patients are being treated at hospitals, while 121,145 patients have fully recovered and being discharged from hospitals. The Epidemiology Unit says a total of 1.3 million people have received the first dose of COVID-19 vaccine and 294,892 have received the second dose. State Minister of Production, Supply and Regulation of Pharmaceuticals, Professor Channa Jayasumana, says the next consignment of Sputnik V coronavirus vaccines will arrive in Sri Lanka on the 25th of this month. Thereby, Sri Lanka will be receiving 185,000 doses of Russian-made COVID jab next week. Sri Lanka received the first batch of Sputnik V vaccine containing 15,000 doses purchased from Russia on the 4th of this month. As per Epidemiology Unit's report on the progress of COVID-19 immunization, Sri Lanka has rolled out the Sputnik V jabs among 14,699 people so far. Northern Province DIG Sanjeeva Dharmaratna says that no one will be allowed to promote LTTE by commemorating its former leaders. He said that police and security forces have received information that certain groups are preparing to conduct LTTE commemorative ceremonies. Accordingly, police and security forces have launched special operations to find those who commemorate the LTTE in Northern Province. Meanwhile, DIG Ajit Rohana said that an individual who organized a commemorative ceremony in Calcutta was arrested. And that's local news.
Then HDFC බැංකුවෙන් EPF ණයතොරතුරු හා සේවාවන් SMS එකකින්
රාජ්‍ය හා පෞද්ගලිකංශයේ රැකියාවේ නියුතු ඔබ කොහේ සිටියත් EPF ණයතොරතුරු හා සේවාවන් ලබා ගැනීම සඳහා කළ යුත්තේ EPF හිස්තැනක් නම හා ප්‍රදේශය සඳහන් කර 071 800 999ට SMS එකක් එවීම පමණයි.
HDFC බැංකුව ඔබ අප සුරකින්න බැංකුව.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
Marking the 12th anniversary of a war victory, Sri Lankan President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, Commander-in-Chief of Armed Forces, has promoted 4,700 army officers and other ranks to the next rank yesterday. Attaching a special significance to the 12th National War Heroes Commemoration Day, the President has promoted a total of 452 officers of the Sri Lanka Army and a record of 4,289 other ranks of the Army to their respective next rank on the commemoration or recommendation of the Ministry of Defence and Chief of Defence Staff and Commander of Army General Shavendra Silva. And that was main news.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
In Watchlight, National Water Supply and Drainage Board says water supply to parts of Gampaha and Kalatura districts is expected to be suspended on Wednesday and Thursday. Accordingly, a 16-hour water cut will be imposed at 8:30 a.m. today in Paligoda, Wattala Mabola, Jayala and Katunayaka Siduwa urban council areas. Kalaniya, Wattala, Biyagama, Mahara, Dompe and Jayala Pradesh Sabha areas and part of Gampaha Pradesh Sabha area will also be affected by the water cut. Meanwhile, a water cut will be in effect in several areas of Kalatura district tomorrow. Accordingly, water supply to Vaskaduwa, Wadua, Potupitiya, Kalatura North, Kalatura South, Katukurunda, Nagoda and Piliminawat areas will be interrupted for 16 hours from 8 a.m. tomorrow. And that was Watchlight. And moving on to world news. Headlines. First, Netanyahu says militants set back by years. China skyscraper SCG Plaza evacuated from shaking. Beethoven and the Heartbreak Kid actor Charles Grodin dies aged 86. And those are the headlines. Israel's 9-day bombardment of Gaza has set Hamas back by many years, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said. 2 foreign farm workers were killed by rockets fired by Palestinian militants into southern Israel on Tuesday. Israel continued its airstrikes on Gaza. In the West Bank, at least 3 Palestinians were killed by Israeli police during protests near Ramallah. Diplomatic efforts to end the violence have met with little success. France has filed a draft resolution with the UN Security Council in coordination with Egypt and Jordan calling for a ceasefire. A skyscraper of more than 70 stories has been evacuated after it started to shake, sending shoppers scrambling for safety in the southern Chinese city of Shenzhen. Local authorities do not yet know what caused the 300-meter SCG Plaza building to wobble on last afternoon. No earthquakes were recorded at the time. An investigation is underway. The 20-year-old building houses an electronics market and offices. It stands in the heart of Shenzhen, a sprawling city of more than 12 million people known for its shopping and booming tech industry. Charles Grodin, an American actor whose comic roles in films such as Midnight Run and Beethoven brought smiles to faces for decades, has died at 86. Grodin died at his home in Wilton on Tuesday, the New York Times newspaper reported. The actor's son, Nicholas, told the newspaper his cause of death was bone marrow cancer. Known for his dry wit, Grodin was a familiar face in Hollywood comedies and primetime talk shows in the US. And that was world news. Moving on to development news, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa instructed the Consultative Committee on the Ministry of Urban Development and Housing to provide housing assistance to finish the construction of partially completed houses of low-income earners. The Prime Minister gave these instructions to the officials, including the Secretary to the Ministry, while discussing matters referred to the committee in terms of the provisions of Standing Order 112 of Parliament. And that was development news.
Sports News is brought to you by...
When Aya bought a motorbike, he bought 2 helmets. So sweet of him. I'm sure the other one is for me.
In whatever we do, we Sri Lankans are always thinking of others. When we get Munchie Super Cream Crackers, they're not just for ourselves. Munchie Super Cream Cracker. Super kiyanne nikan neve.
Soccer, Chelsea beat Leicester City to boost their Champions League hopes and leave the Foxes in danger of missing out. Just 3 days after Leicester beat Chelsea 1-0 in the FA Cup final, Chelsea got some measure of revenge to win thanks to Antonio Rudiger and Jorginho goals in front of 8,000 fans. And that was sports news.
My wife always sets a full lunch table, even if it's just the two of us. She always expects people to drop by, like maybe the army.
In whatever we do, we Sri Lankans are always thinking of others. When we get Munchie Super Cream Crackers, they're not just for ourselves. Munchie Super Cream Cracker. Super kiyanne nikan neve.
Contributory deposit of ₹1,000 from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
Wealthy people have so far spent more than £1 billion on super yachts in 2021 as they seek to escape COVID lockdowns and travel restrictions, according to a luxury lifestyle publisher. Boat International said the surge is set to make this year the biggest yet in terms of second-hand sales. But Oxfam said it was obscene that such wealth was not spent on vaccines. For the cost of those super yachts, the population of Nepal could be fully vaccinated, the charity said. And that was Business News.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of ₹1,000 from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic news, courtesy of... Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
The State Ministry of Regional Cooperation has launched a creative economic program with a view towards contributing to the country's economy and promoting Sri Lanka's cultural heritage. The creative economy is a rapidly expanding segment of the global economy and has made a crucial contribution towards generating employment, income and exports. Based on creativity, it encompasses all artistic, innovative and cultural products and services. And that was Economic News.
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue in partnership with the Ministry of Education. Introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
Several spells of showers will occur in western, Sabaragamu, central and northwestern provinces and in Galle and Mathura districts. Showers or thundershowers will occur at several places in eastern and Uva provinces and in Hambantota and Mullaitivu districts during the evening or night.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue in partnership with the Ministry of Education introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
Before we conclude this news broadcast, let's look at the main points once again. The 12th National War Heroes Day will be commemorated today. The parliamentary debate on the Colombo Port City Draft Bill will commence today. Sri Lanka records the highest daily coronavirus death count yesterday with 34 deaths. Toll exceeds 1,000. Sri Lanka will be receiving 185,000 doses of the Russian-made COVID jabs next week. News Overseas, Netanyahu says militants set back by years. In sports, Chelsea beat Leicester City to boost their Champions League hopes. And with that, we conclude this morning news broadcast of Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.